one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a seat. Roll call.
Mays.
Here.
Nikki.
Here.
Sarah.
Here.
Paul.
Here.
Bradford.
Here.
Robertson.
Here.
Page.
Here.
Lemmings.
Here.
Bass.
Yes.
On the agenda, we have two additional ordinances. Do I hear a motion to approve those additional ordinances for this meeting?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the additional ordinances for the agenda. Any discussion? Roll call vote for agenda.
Mays.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Page.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes and financials.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes and financials. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us up
Sorry, who seconded?
who did second that? Nikki
I did.
or Bailey or Mike? Mike.
Sorry.
Next up for county judges' comments, you have in front of you a printout from ACT for the AAC conference. If any of you who are going would like to attend the dinner on Tuesday night and with a ball game between the Travelers and the Naturals, just let me know and I'll get us signed up for that. Also on Wednesday night we'll be hosted by I-1 Benefits. We're going to go over and have some Mexican food and we'll get an update on where we are insurance-wise year to date. We can listen. You can ask any questions you want to ask. You just can't ask questions of each other, and you can't form any opinions while you're there. So we'll stay FOIA compliant. County boards and committees to address the court and court for the committees. We have a request by the Election Commission to speak to you.
Right, you can be at the end. Yeah, I have a written statement I'd like to read. I've got copies of it that I'll give to you so that you can make sure you understand what I'm saying. First of all, just thanks for letting me just stand up here for a few moments and kind of air my laundry out a little bit. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Matthews. I'm one of the newly elected election commissioners for Van Buren County. I initially moved here to get away from politics and just thought I was just going to retire and just be with my kids and my grandkids, and now I got great grandkids out here, so I thought that's what I was going to do. When I got here, I began to see some things that gave me pause in terms of what was going on in the elections here in Arkansas. And because of that, I just give you a little bit of background who I am so that you understand I'm not a newbie. I'm not somebody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. I spent the last 25 years basically as a political consultant, and I design and implement strategies for campaigns. I've consulted on campaigns from everything from school board up to U.S. senators. I'm currently on an advisory board for a candidate out in California that's running for governor. So I've been around the block, and I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. My last 10 years have been spent focusing on election reform. And having come from California, which is the worst of all worlds, when I got out here, like I said, I'm seeing some signs that are bringing me concern about what's transpiring in our election process here. I do want to say, for the most part, we've been doing an analysis on the elections here in Arkansas since 1972. Because when I present evidence and documentation to people, I want them to know where I got it from, and that I'm just not making it up. That analysis is not quite complete here in Arkansas. We still have some loose ends. I'm still waiting for some information from the ROV in terms of voter registration over the last 3 years. And I'm working with Josh Bridges, Secretary of State, to get 6 years worth of voting records that never made it onto the website. Apparently somebody boxed them up and put them away, and they never got digitized. So I'm working with them on that. I have to go down there. I have to manually record the numbers because they don't have them in there right now. For the most part, Arkansas and Van Buren County in particular are very clean. We have, in this county, we have one of the best voter rolls in terms of maintenance and accuracy and everything else. So it's really, to Pam's credit and her staff, the amount of time I've spent with them, they've been very friendly, very cooperative, although I know sometimes I irritate them, but that just goes with the territory. Sometimes I get questions, why are you asking me for that information? I'm like, I need it. That's how I'm a visual person. Once I see things and I can visualize it, then I know what's going to happen and where to go. So like I said, my concern right now lies at the state level. I'm seeing some signs that the state legislature is trying to usurp the authority that we have at the county level. And what that essence of what that means in political jargon is that they're in the process of trying to centralize our elections at the state level and eliminate the authority that the counties have. So rather than the counties conducting their own business, you're actually being told by the state how you can conduct your business. And there's legislation that's been passed over the last few months. I just went to the SBEC meeting on Tuesday, and I think you got a copy of it, Pan. 8 pages worth of legislation has gone through the state legislature just this year, changing election laws. Just a quick example, one of the things they've done is they now mandate that if you want to put a petition or an initiative on a ballot, your canvassers have to submit a criminal background check 30 days before they're allowed to accept signatures. And on top of that, if you go and get a signature from somebody, that person has to provide you ID before they can sign the petition. This is going to hinder and obstruct people from participating in our election process, but it's a direct attempt to hinder us from being able to conduct our own business at the county level. That's just one example, but there's a whole slew of stuff. So, I'll read you this statement just so I get it right. So as a newly elected commissioner, I've sworn an oath to uphold federal, state, and county laws regarding our election process, and I fully intend to do so. But I'm also responsible for doing my part to ensure our elections remain honest, transparent, and accurate. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. We've recently been given an executive order by Donald Trump regarding the elections and the use of machines. And as it stands right now, Arkansas is out of compliance with that executive order. The machines are outdated. They've not been certified since 2005. They're supposed to come up to at least 2016 standards. The executive order states that you cannot use barcodes on the ballot. We have barcodes. Now this is going to create a conflict between the state, which says we get to run our elections, and the federal government says yes, but with federal elections, we have a say as to how those things are conducted. And then when you turn around and add the state trying to override or rule what the counties do, we have the perfect storm right now, and I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I've been in conversations with Rick Beck, our state representative. After the last conversation, I met with him last week. I ran into him last week at a VFW event, and he approached me. He said, John, I've been listening to what you've been telling me, and I think we need to sit down and discuss whether we can create legislation that will come to a compromise between the machines and hand counting ballots and see if we can somehow satisfy both sides of the debate. So we're in the process of meeting on that. I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know if it's just, if he's patronizing me or whatever, but we'll see as the whole thing plays out. I just have an inherent mistrust of elected officials. I just do, So at least at the local stuff, I'm so impressed with this county. Like I said, I come from the worst that there is, and everybody I meet in this county is like, I haven't seen or heard anybody that's like I would look at it and go, wow, I wonder what that person's really up to, you know, that kind of thing. It's really kind of cool to be amongst people that I can actually talk to, and, you know, that kind of thing. So the last thing I want to say is that I will be soliciting time for the court. I have a presentation that I want to give you. It's an analysis of the 24 election, and it will show you some of the things that I'm outlining right now. And as time goes on, we'll be getting more in depth. And once I complete the complete analysis, then I'll be giving you guys copies of the report. Because one thing I do know is that we do have at this level right now the ability to determine how our elections run in terms of whether we use machines, hand count ballots, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not one of these people. I'm not saying I want hand counted ballots. What I'm saying is I want the county to be able to choose. That's my issue. It's not trying to force something on somebody. It's saying we should have the right to choose and decide how we want our elections run and not be dictated to outside sources. So as I present all that evidence and documentation, you guys, you'll get an understanding of where I'm coming from. And I'm just not here just to make waves. I'd rather be home sitting on my porch. But, you know, things are as they are. I'm worried about where this country's going. And I've got kids and grandkids, and, you know, they tell me all the time, Grandpa, why you talk about politics all the time? I'm like, you know, it may come to this country one day folds and becomes part of the communist coalition out there. Not on my watch. That's how I am. It's just like, I'm doing this for you. Someday you'll understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So anyway, just thank you again for your time, and I look forward to working with all of you, and that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any other elected officials that would like to approach the court? Emma?
I just want to let y'all know that this is our...
Can you come up to the... You got the camera and the microphone station.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just wanted to let y'all know that this is our reappraisal year, and about 14,000 letters have went out for the reappraisal. We found out today that they were misprinted, and our appraisal company is having them redone, so probably everyone will get one, and now you're going to get another revised. But if you start getting phone calls about the letters, and I figure probably some of you will, then that's what it is. We're under a reappraisal year. So, any questions?
How often are reappraisals done?
We had been on a 5-year cycle, but now the state has changed everyone to 4. So after this it'll be 4 years. Okay.
Thank you. Any other elected officials that wish to approach the court or department heads? Court? Oh, go. Come on up, Eric.
Hello, I was just going to give a quick report. We had a State Department of Corrections PREA auditor come by the sheriff's office. What they did was they informed us of all the new rules and regulations for PREA, which basically inmates, if they feel like they've been in any way sexually assaulted while in jail, it gives them a voice, a way to report this, and we have to be compliant. So by August of next year, we should have everything and be compliant. She said our facility looked really good the way it's already set up. It'll require inmates that come in, staff, anyone that works there, such as the plumber. They all have to take this little short 30-minute course, and basically teaches everybody their rights and how to report. So in a year, as long as we're compliant, we should be good. It's going to incur a cost upon the county for, I believe it was $5,000, and it's going to be every other year or possibly every 3 years if you're a smaller facility, and that would be an actual $5,000 cost for their auditor to come in and do a PREA audit to ensure that we're following those rules. So I just wanted to make the Quorum Court aware of that, and that's a year off, and we're working diligently to make sure we're compliant. So,
Hey, Eric,
Yes.
what's PREA? I never heard of that.
PREA is it's an acronym, and I can't quote it right now, but basically when inmates or detainees are incarcerated, and anytime they feel like a staff member has somehow sexually assaulted them, or they were sexually assaulted by another inmate, or anything in that nature. It teaches them how to report. It makes them feel safe. There's the kiosk. They can do a handwritten report. They can ask to speak to a supervisor in private, the sheriff, the jail administrator. They can ask to speak to a deputy. We just have to make sure that all those steps are in place and that they are aware of them. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other department heads or elected officials to address the court? Court, do you have questions for the department heads or elected officials? That will move us right along to new business. First ordinance is sponsored by Bailey Robertson.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2024-54, the annual operating budget for 2025, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $67.23 into the County General Volunteer Fire Department budget number 1000-502. Whereas Van Buren County pays workmen's compensation for Van Buren County's volunteer firefighters, and whereas the cost for workmen's compensation was a little higher than anticipated for the year 2025, putting the personal services category in the red. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $67.23 be appropriated into number 1000-502-1010, Workmen's Compensation for Van Buren County's volunteer firefighters. I move we approve as written.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. I will start a little bit of discussion. One might wonder why we pay workman's comp on volunteer fire departments, and that is because it is statutory. 20-22-809 provides an unfunded mandate to the counties to provide workers' compensation to the volunteer fire departments of the county. That excludes the cities because cities take care of their own workers' compensation. Like I said, it's an unfunded mandate, but it is our statutory obligation to do that. Any discussion about the ordinance? Roll call vote.
Mays. Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Page.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2025-23.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Becky Page.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to transfer monies within the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management, OEM, budget for personal services, number 1000-500, to the cleanup payments of comp time for the OEM to move monies from the county road budget, number 2000-20, and appropriate in the OEM budget, number 1000-500. To correct payments for the OEM's dental and life insurance for the months of July and August of 2025. Whereas the OEM was approved by the county judge to be paid for comp time in February of 2025. This has resulted in personal services being in the red at the end of June 2025. And whereas $380.59 will need to be transferred from line item 1000-500-9999, transfer out to correct the overage, and whereas the OEM position is paid from County General half of the year, January through June, and County Road the remaining half, July through December. Dental insurance for the OEM was paid from County General for July and August, and life insurance for July. And whereas the monies will need to be transferred from County Road number 2000-200 and appropriated into the OEM County General budget number 1000-500 to correct these insurance payments. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $329.47 be transferred from 1000-500-9999, transfer out to 1000-500-1001. Salaries. Full-time, $9.51 to 1000-500-1006. Social Security, and $41.61 to 1000-500-1008. retirement totaling $380.59. In Section 2, $56.88 be transferred from 2000-209-1009 health insurance for dental and appropriated into 1000-500-1009 and $650 from 2000-200-1016 life insurance and appropriated into 1000-500-1016. I make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mays.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Page.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2025-24.
Thank you. Next, we have one of the two additional ordinances that was approved earlier. Sarah, would you introduce your ordinance, please?
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an emergency ordinance to be entitled, an emergency ordinance to authorize the sale of 2 sheriff's office vehicles to the City of Clinton, to appropriate the funds from the sale, to declare an emergency, and for other purposes. Whereas the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office has 2 vehicles which are ready for replacement that the City of Clinton would like to purchase. And whereas the City of Clinton has offered a price which is above the price received from the last vehicle trade. And whereas Arkansas Code annotated 14-16-116 gives specific instructions for a transaction of this type. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the custodian of county property per ACA 14-14-11023A, the Van Buren County Judge is here authorized to sell the following real property to the City of Clinton. A 2016 Dodge Ram 1500 VIN ending in 250588, and B 2016 Dodge Ram 1500 VIN ending in 250589 at a price of $7,000 each for a total of $14,000. 2. The property shall be sold as is. 3. Upon the close of the sale, the county judge is hereby directed to remove said property from the county's fixed capital asset listing. And 4. Upon receiving the funds from this vehicle, the sum of $14,000 shall be appropriated into line item 1000-0400-4005 vehicles. Emergency clause. It is imperative for the county operations to continue smoothly, efficiently, and effectively. Therefore, this ordinance is being necessary for the protection and preservation of public health and safety. An emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in force and shall take effect immediately upon passage and publication. I make a motion to move as written, to accept as written.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. I would entertain a motion to amend this ordinance to scratch the word real and under the first, right before property, because this is personal property. I drafted this on behalf of the sheriff's office. They even looked at it and proofed it, and we used a blank that was used when we when we sold the deputy prosecutor's building. So
What's the difference between what you're saying personal and what they're saying real here?
real is real estate and personal is vehicles. So I would entertain a motion to amend this ordinance to strike the word real.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to amend the ordinance. Any discussion on the amendment? All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. Now on to discussion on the ordinance itself. Having no discussion, roll call vote.
Mays.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Page.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass. O 2025.
This ordinance had an emergency clause on it, and I always like to address those emergency clauses, the who, the whys, and all that. This is a transaction that needs to occur to be able to go ahead and sell those old vehicles, get the new vehicles in, and it is a time matter. so that therefore the emergency clause was attached to this ordinance. So I would entertain a motion to acknowledge the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to acknowledge the emergency clause. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Virgil, yours is next.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, the State of Arkansas, emergency appropriation ordinance to be entitled, Emergency Appropriation Ordinance to appropriate monies into the County Health Fund, number 1002-300, for employees' insurance claims for the last 6 months of payments for the budget year 2025. Whereas the ordinance 2024-55 appropriated monies to cover the first 6 months of employee health insurance claims, and whereas $563,641.04 will be appropriated into line item number 1002-300-1009, health insurance to cover the last 6 months of health insurance claims for county employees. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, a total of $563,641.04 be appropriated into the County Health Fund, number 1002, and Section 2, this ordinance being necessary for protection and preservation of public health and safety, and emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in force and take effect upon its passage and publication. I move that we approve it as written.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion?
Did we foresee this happening?
Sorry.
I mean, we knew this was gonna happen? Okay.
So just so I'm clear and everybody's clear, we appropriated this in the budget, and this is just money that has been, I mean, it was already in there. We're not taking it from anywhere. It was already budgeted.
We only appropriated the first 6 months.
Right,
This
right.
is
Okay.
appropriating the last 6 months.
But it was in the budget. It was all covered in the budget when we did it.
No, it's not in, it wasn't in the budget in the beginning. I don't think, was it? Do you remember?
Well, I mean, we budgeted for health care. I mean, we budgeted
Okay,
for the health
okay.
insurance.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
just have
making.
to appropriate it on my side.
Okay, on your side. I'm just making that, so yes, it was in the budget. It's just being moved over. Because that's a whole lot of money, and I just want to make that clear, yes.
The question that I have on our treasury report, we have $132,226. It says in the employee insurance fund. Now, help me to understand this again, because I'm nowhere. When do we start building on that money? Or we have to continue year after year to keep putting that much in? I thought we already got $132,000 in there. So where is that going to balance out? When do we get that?
We have $132,000 in there. That is our excess to this point.
Right.
So it's in the process of slowly building.
Okay.
So I think in a way that's kind of our excess, like we're appropriating this as we go every 6 months, and we've covered that cost. I think how I understand that is this is a little bit building.
Right.
So we've had, how many claims that we had? I mean, is that normal, what we're seeing here? Or,
Our claims are a little high, and that's what I-1 is going to cover with us.
okay.
So this is actual claims, not like premiums.
Claims and premiums for the secondary stop-loss insurance.
I'm just trying to get a hold on where we're at in that, as far as since it's all new to us, and then we've got that much money there, and when we can use that money to go to cover some of this.
We need to keep that money in the bucket until it gets up to probably about $1 million. Then at that point, we can address lowering the amount that we set aside for insurance.
Gotcha.
And I'm assuming at the AAC meeting, at that dinner, that they'll be able to tell us, hey, we projected you'd be here and you're really here, whether it's high, low. So we'll know, have an idea.
Correct.
What I'm hoping.
Good discussion. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Mays? Yes. Nikki?
Yes.
Sarah? Hall,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Lemmings,
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2025-26.
As far as the emergency clause on this one, I don't know why we'd have an emergency clause on an appropriation. They both are 2/3 votes. Appropriations are immediate. I didn't draft the ordinance, so I don't know. It's not hurting anything, but I don't think it was.
It was on the last one, so I just left it in there. Yeah.
So at least it didn't hurt anything. I would entertain a motion to acknowledge the emergency clause.
So moved.
Motion is second to acknowledge the emergency clause. Any further discussion? All those in favor of acknowledging that signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Nikki, your resolution is next.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution authorizing the County Judge of Van Buren County to apply for a grant on behalf of Van Buren County. Whereas Van Buren County has determined that the county meets eligibility requirements necessary to apply for a grant under the Arkansas Community Assistance Grant Program, and whereas the county has presented plans to purchase a rock crusher for the use by the county, and whereas the Quorum Court of Van Buren County recognizes the need for the project, concurs with its importance, and supports the county in its efforts to proceed with the same. And whereas Van Buren County has furnished proof that they have raised approximately $259,454 through county cash to be applied to the project as a local match. Therefore, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the County Judge of Van Buren County is hereby authorized to submit an application of formal request to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for the purpose of securing state grant funds in the approximate amount of $1,037,813 to aid and assist Van Buren County in executing the proposed project described herein, and that the County Judge of Van Buren County is further authorized to administer the grant funds for the same project. I move we adopt as written.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution. This is a high lift. I doubt if we get this. There is a $15 million payout on this Community Assistance Grant Program. It's highly sought after. There's already almost $80 million in ask for $15 million in payout. It's open to cities, counties, and nonprofits. Each project has a maximum payout of $1.5 million within that $15 million total. It's a tall lift, but our chances of getting it are better if we apply than if we don't.
That's right.
So I want to at least be at the table to be told no.
What are the stipulations for the money?
It's a really open grant. It's really open.
Is there a match requirement, or we just didn't have to make it stronger?
80-20.
It is 80.
Our Van Buren County's LMIs allow us an 80-20. Like I know Fairfield Bay is applying for the same grant. Fairfield Bay's LMIs are not where the counties are, so it's a 50-50.
Is this what the county needs most as far as something you would ask for?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So where's the placement of it going to be if we get one? Thinking ahead.
Formosa.
For what?
Formosa. At the quarry. Yeah. It'd replace the one we got now. What I would like to do is move the one we have to the North Quarry. And this one would produce 350 tons an hour. So we'd be producing a lot more.
How is our rock crusher doing?
It's struggling along. But we're producing. It's old. It doesn't produce as fast as a new one, and this would really help us be able to get a lot more rocks put out and build the roads up better.
What does this mean, county cash? I raised property that much.
That's our match.
But where did the county cash come from?
Road fund.
Road fund.
We have a crusher, don't we?
Yes.
It's still in use?
Yes. Absolutely.
So this amount right here would come out of the 404,000?
Should we get this, I'd probably be coming to y'all and asking to take that difference out in a note.
What's the difference between owning our own versus what we're doing now?
That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
It's just, it's old.
Where's the
We'd be able
crusher
to do
at?
more. We'd be able to produce more. It's at Formosa.
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is. I know where it used to be.
Yeah,
Same one.
same place, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good discussion. Any further? All in favor of adopting this resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Oh, R 2025-09.
And that wraps up our new business. We're up to public comment, and we have some people who would like to address the court concerning animal control.
Hi, thank you for giving us an opportunity to come before you. My name's Virginia Hall, and recently we had 4 dogs abandoned, and I think I've spoken to Mr. Bradford and also to the judge, and I also spoke to the sheriff's office. Through Facebook, we were able to find out the culprit who abandoned these animals. They were starving to death. They became aggressive. They went after a neighbor's rabbit hutch, tried to break in twice. They went after a neighbor trying to go out to her mailbox, and it became dangerous, especially just recently in Little Rock. A 15-year-old was killed by, I think it was a pit bull, but I'm not 100% sure. Abandoned animals become aggressive because they're starving to death. We did our best to reach out to the powers that be, and we were basically told our county has no facility to take or personnel to take care of this situation. We are here tonight to approach you and to ask that this is changed. We need a shelter. We need an officer who can come out and pick up these animals so that they're not just left to die, or even worse, somebody shoots them, because that was also mentioned. It didn't happen. And luckily, all 4 animals have been placed. We have 2 great neighbors on the road who adopted 2 of them, and the other 2 went to Memphis, and the Senatobia Humane Society checked the mother. She had a rope burn around her neck. She'd had way too many litters for her age, so it was a puppy mill. Bones were found at the house. It was actually a mobile home. The situation that was, the living situation was atrocious. This person moved, left the animals there in the heat with no food, left cats in the mobile home also with no food and water. And the landlord followed up on this, told him, get these animals off my property, and he in turn dropped them, abandoned them on our road. And through Facebook, we were able to find out who this person is. The sheriff explained to me, and I may have this wrong, that his hands are basically tied dealing with the situation like this because of a law back in 2013 that has been repealed, and I may have that wrong. But he said, like, if there's an aggressive, let's say pit bull at your neighbor's, and that dog comes onto your property, that his hands are tied with that situation because of the repeal of that law. So I'm just grasping here. I don't know if that's true, if that's something we could ask you to reconsider. I know animal abuse is still a crime in Arkansas. I did file a report. Lieutenant Harrison, I believe, is handling it and has supposedly passed it to the prosecutor, and that would be Chris Brown, I guess. Is that correct? But at this stage of the game, I don't know what will happen. The landlord is willing to testify against this person. So that's just kind of one example. And I know everybody kind of deals with this. I know the judge said that dogs have been dropped off on his road. We're a large county, and I really believe that we ought to be able to either appropriate the money, ask for a grant, maybe through the Humane Society. I'm not sure, but I'm just here to ask you to please look into this and help us find a way to resolve this situation. These animals, it was pitiful. It was bad. Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Did any of you have any questions for her?
I have the same problem in my area. As a matter of fact, they killed my livestock, a pack of dogs, and the owner has been approached. I don't like to shoot anyone's dog, but I can't have him killing my livestock. And do we not have? We did away with our pound, didn't we?
Yeah, the city,
Yes.
the city owns that now, or has taken that over.
The city of Clinton.
Yes.
Do we have somebody that can pick them up?
No, because I call them.
I think that's just going to be for the city. As far as the county, I don't know of them having that.
I called them, and I believe the lady who is there now actually was working previously with the Van Buren shelter that has been closed. But she did give me some people to contact statewide, and I spent hours on this, emailing and begging, and everybody was full. Nobody could take them. So we were feeding them, my neighbors and I. We were doing the best we could do, but we need some help with this, and it's not the first time it's happened, and it probably won't be the last.
You're right. These dogs are being starved to death, and ones I see are just covered in ticks.
Oh yes,
and
yes.
diseased.
Yeah, she had 4 puppies with her. They were about maybe 5 months old, but they were covered with tick bites and ticks, and one had a scratch across his face. You could tell somebody had hit right across the face. But the rope burn on the mother's neck was the worst. There's no reason for that. That's animal abuse for sure. So if there's something we can do, just tell us how to get the ball rolling on this. We want to try to see something done about it. Okay, thank you.
What she mentioned would take a legislative fix, which is you guys.
What do you suggest?
Didn't the state make animal abuse a felony a couple
It
of years
is a
ago?
felony, yes, sir.
For like torture situations. So there's a definition for aggravated animal abuse, and it's kind of a prolonged suffering of dogs, cats, and horses specifically. And there's a pretty hefty definition to meet. We have charged it before, though, but yeah.
But you still have the right to protect your property, though. I mean, they're coming on your property.
Absolutely.
And killing. My guy just across from my driveway has a lot of baby calves, and they were down there the other day chasing those baby calves. And there again, the owner has been told that they're going to be shot if he didn't take care of them. He won't take care of them.
An instance where we've charged it that comes to mind is someone who locked a German Shepherd in a kennel, and it took weeks to starve to death. But we felt like it met that prolonged definition of intentional suffering for really no legitimate purpose, but
One of
to be
these is a
mean.
huge bulldog, and I'm just afraid that some of the kids around there are going to get badly hurt by him. Is there no way we can make this guy take care of his property and chain him up or whatever to keep him from roaming and killing things?
Chain up the animal? Or?
Isn't there a animals running at large statute?
that the sheriff's department can charge them with?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with all that is you can take them to court and prosecute them, and maybe that's often the right thing to do. And so they get, on the misdemeanors, they get a fine, right? Or the code violations, and then the felony, it's probation or some prison time. But you still can't make them chain them up, right? I mean, so that's the issue, is the enforcement aspect of it. We've had some that just seem like they're happy to take the fine they have to pay. I don't care. They're probably not going to pay it anyway, right? So
the alternative is just you have to shoot the dog to stop the problem. And that's just hard for me to do.
I've had the same instance with the constituent, and I chased it all the way up to the state level, but it was actually chickens that were going in his yard and defecating, and he didn't like that, which is his yard. It's his, it's his property. It's his right. But I was pretty much told the same thing. His option is to shoot him or deal with it. But he also gave the perspective of, I have to live here. I don't want to shoot my neighbor's chickens, which is, it's a bad place to be in.
So you ask a very good question. What would that legislative fix look like? That would be restructuring of some animal control laws that have been repealed in the past, or working with appropriations and with funding to try to fund an ACO, an animal control officer, and to have a place, fund a place for them to take them once they have been taken into our custody.
So could we get that on the docket?
Well, that's what we're talking about. Is there any...
The ACO officers, they work 40 hours a week, and there's 168 hours in a week. So then citizens don't care what time they call you. They got a problem with the dog, they want you to take care of it. So, I mean, to fully staff animal control, you need at least 4 people if you're going to fund it, do it 24 hours. And we don't have a lot of extra officers. I mean, they're handling people problems. So it's a hard.
Previously, we did fund the animal shelter, and I know I wasn't on the court at the time, that I think that they had to make some hard decisions, and I think that it cost. I may be off here because I'm just kind of going off memory of looking at that when we were transferring the building, but I think to provide, the officer and the facility, it got up to $300,000 is what.
It was about $365,000.
And so there did come a point where that was cut, and one thing that I think, obviously it's not a solution because we're the county, but the city was willing to take that over and do it for the city, which they were having a major problem in the city. Again, I think that they do have some problems staffing it. It's a lot to take on, and it costs a lot of money. So that's one of the big barriers. Just to give you all the information of history here is, I think we looked at that a few years ago, and I think Dale was around during that time, about $350,000. So it's hard for us because last year, just to give an example, we had about a $400,000 shortfall to fund what we have right now that we patched with our reserve, and luckily that's worked out. But just kind of put it into numbers, not to be cold to the cause at all, because what you're describing is horrible. Just to give that's why it's hard for us to be able to fund that on a county level, just to be completely honest.
Could we start smaller? Maybe not 24 hours, but a regular shift, and just have one officer and then one person at the shelter. Maybe we could depend on Facebook, which works for a lot of people, and get donations brought in, or just something.
Do you think could we put somebody in charge of that if that was to happen?
I'm not full staff right now.
You're not, I mean, you're looking at, at least one officer, somebody there to be at the shelter. Then you're looking at a veterinary cost. Is it going to be a no-kill shelter? If it's not, then you're going to have euthanization, which is, the same outcome. And I've got the same problem on my road. I've had dogs dumped. I had 6 puppies dumped on the coldest night of the year 2 years ago. It was going to be like 9 degrees that night, and somebody dumped 4 puppies on our road. And a couple of years ago, several years ago, I called the sheriff's department on my neighbor because they had 2 draft horses that I estimated. I've been around livestock my whole life. I estimated them to be about 300 pounds underweight. They were nothing but skin and bones. They ended up having to put down the stud, and the mare had a colt that died just because they didn't have any nutrition. I called them 4 times, called the sheriff's department 4 times on it. This is a different administration, but I mean, it's, I feel your pain because I deal with it all the time. There's people always dumping dogs on my road. It's a circle road that people can get in, they can go down, dump them, and keep right on going. And that's why I have game cameras on the roads now.
And maybe if we set an example with this particular person, and we know who did this, if he's prosecuted, maybe the word will get out that, hey, we're not going to put up with this. You're going to be prosecuted if you drop your dogs and abandon.
Do we still have the leash law for the county? I thought there was.
I think
No,
all that
no
was
leash law?
repealed.
Is there a scenario where they can be fined if it's proven and we don't have to take the animal?
Yeah, that's
Yes, that's yes. Mm-hmm. And the problem with taking the animals, you got somewhere to take them, right? So I think, particularly in that instance where the animal's abandoned, and like what Mike's talking about, if the sheriff had somewhere to take him, I'm sure he'd be happy to, but there's nowhere to take him. But yes, it's a citation like any other, misdemeanor or code type offense. So you're given a citation and a date to appear in court, and that doesn't mean that they have to seize the animals. Yep.
Is that something that's already in place, or is that something that we would need to put in place for our county to be enforced within the county?
Well, you can always make more, but there are some in place. Yeah.
If I may,
Please.
There was a gentleman.
Would you care to come up to the microphone?
There was a gentleman at the Exxon, and I drove by, and he had a little, I guess you call him a teacup animal, dog, and he had walked it out to the grass and set it down. Well, he was really frustrated with it, and he kicked the dog. And it was so tiny, you can't kick a small dog like that. It can kill it or permanently injure it. And I seen that as I was driving by. And I wasn't sure what I thought I saw, so I turned around and went back. By then, he had walked back up to the building, and I thought maybe I misunderstood what I saw because I seen it in the rearview mirror, so I turned around and started to leave again. He walked back out there, and about the time I looked again, he did the exact same thing. So I went up, and I cited him immediately for animal cruelty, and I knew we had nowhere to keep the dog, and I'm sure Rita would have been happy to try to help us out because she's always offering, but I know they can't operate for free. So what I did was I called the person that he got the dog from and said, would you be willing to house this dog till this goes to court? And she said yes. So she kept the dog. He finally came back and pled guilty, paid his fine. We didn't even go to court on it. And the dog was once again rehomed to a better home. But in some instances, yes, we can do that, but it's not always going to be like that. So our biggest challenge is if we show up at someone's house and we cite them for something or see it in the street, we immediately, just like her, what am I going to do with these dogs? We're in the same boat automatically. What are we going to do with these dogs? It was rumored we had a pen behind the sheriff's office and we'd been taking them in. And of course, I talked to Rita about that and squashed it. I said, we don't have a pen. We've not been keeping dogs. So I guess people are under the impression out there that we still do that, or we have an animal control officer, or that we can write under the ordinance that was repealed, but we don't have that. So again, we get the call, we're like, our hands are tied right now. If your neighbor's animal keeps coming on your property and killing your dogs, just like Esther Bass said, if you have to resort to putting that animal down because it's destroying your property or it's vicious, a lot of people don't want to do that because it's their neighbor. They got to live beside them. But our hands are tied, and it becomes a civil matter. You're going to have to hire an attorney and sue your neighbor because it killed your $3,000 prize Pomeranian, or and a lot of the criminal facts we have to be able to cite for what we see. So a lot of people don't understand that, and we do our best to accommodate and explain to them the situation we're in, and the only recourse we have is please show up to your quorum court meetings and talk to your quorum court, because we don't have the funds to house them, we don't have the ability to house them, we don't have a county ordinance to write under. So I know this, I've been in 2.5 years now, and this has been an ongoing issue since I came into office, and I know it has ever since the county decided to let the city take over the shelter. It just, the big problem was in the city, and now that the city has the shelter, now it's becoming a bigger problem out in the county. And I spoke with Rita the other day. She said a lot of people are actually catching on that the city is the one that has the shelter. So what do? They sneak into the city limits and they drop the dog off in the city. So they're going to take care of it one way or another. So it just keeps shifting back and forth, and it's going to be a problem. So I know y'all are the ones that's got to make decisions, and what it comes down to is, do we have the money to fund it? So absolutely, if I have a place to put them, we'll go get them. If we have the money or funds or the manpower to have that officer to do that, we'll do our part. But again, just like her advocating, we need funds for that. So we don't have that. So
what ordinance was repealed that's tying your hands?
Probably the county's animal control ordinance.
Animal at large?
There was a 17-page ordinance at one time, and that was all repealed.
With the cruelty in the state statute.
And Ms. Hall, just to say something else, because I know that I just came at it as black and white and numbers, and that's, this may be the stupidest idea that there ever was. Obviously, I understand
no stupid ideas.
that you can't fund an officer or anything like that. But in talking about the situation that you talked about, and basically if there was a way to get the animal somewhere where it was safe, taking out the law enforcement angle, just to, I don't know exactly how the city runs it now. I know that Rita is a great resource for, she loves animals, and she is great with it. I don't know if there would be some kind of mechanism, if you have this, I think that there are a lot of people in this community that this is near and dear to their heart, and it's a great cause. I don't know if there's a way, this wouldn't be something really done through us, but of some kind of nonprofit that could be set up where you could raise funds to accomplish what you're wanting. Again, an officer or something like that, I feel is more in our realm, and I can't say that the budget could allow that, so I don't want to act like that. But in thinking outside of the box, is there a way that community members could get together for a nonprofit or something for those, you're talking about Facebook and campaigns like that, that would be a way to structure some funding to get a safe place to house these, or whatever the situation needed. And again, I'm not saying that through, because I've laid out our budgetary restraints, just to be honest with you. But I don't know if that's done in places or if that's not. I don't know anything about it, but I don't know. I know that Rita, in thinking about when we transferred to the city and everything, I think she looked at all options, so she might be a source. You could just ask, does that happen in other places? What does that look like? Again, I'm just trying to brainstorm on that.
Okay, and I would be willing to pursue that if I could get a promise from all of you that you would look back at your budget one more time and just cut it back. It doesn't have to be $300,000. Just cut it back to give us just a place to start with. But I will check into that. I'll put that out.
And again, that could just be, they could be like, there's no way you can do that because X, Y, Z. But
well, the connection that I had on Facebook, the lady who actually saw them in that shape before they were abandoned on our road, we connected on Facebook, and she has a rescue, but she rescues goats and horses and occasionally a dog or a cat, but bigger animals. But I'm sure there are a plethora of people in our county who would probably be willing to volunteer or help. And I'll reach out and check on that. But I think for it to be legit, it's still got to have some manpower behind it through the sheriff's office.
Does Rita have officers that can go out and handle the dogs and stuff in Clinton? How do they get picked up? Just her?
Yeah, it's just.
Can we utilize constables to do something like that, or is that beyond their scope?
Good luck.
Did you know, does Fairfield Bay also have a shelter?
They do, and we reached out to them, and of course they were full. They were waiting for the Humane Society, I think, from Batesville to come pick up some of theirs.
So what we need and what I would appreciate is there a justice of the peace? Is there someone at this table who has the passion for wanting to help people like this lady to look at what we have in place or don't have in place, what needs to be in place, and just take the cause and embrace it and run with it? Okay, so
I can look into it.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, and I'll help you look at what we've had before, but I don't want to mislead you as far as finances goes.
Well, we didn't expect to come in tonight and, get a perfect answer, but we just wanted to get it out there and get you talking about it and just get the ball rolling.
Sure.
Fairfield Bay has a RETA kind of situation with the people. We've got somebody from Mountain View that actually runs ours. And so the city of Fairfield Bay to limit their budget, limit how much they contribute a certain amount to that person, which helps them run a successful animal shelter with a number that's affordable to the city. So, I mean, and the city doesn't have any officers. That person runs the animal control shelter and picks up animals when there's calls and stuff. So our police department is not doing animal control and stuff. And I doubt Eric wants to do a lot of picking up animals, and that's not what they get trained for at the academy. So, we could come up with we could limit our liability, limit the amount of money we're spending.
However,
and still help the county. Maybe $50 a dog up to, or $100 or $200 a dog up to $10,000 or $20,000.
If an abandoned dog attacked and killed someone, and somebody had reported that dog, and nothing was done about it, does that make the county liable?
We have no. We do have a level of tort immunity, but that we just don't want that to happen in the first place. But that's where we're headed. Since Mike is going to take the cause, just be in communication with Mike, and we'll see. I'll be looking forward to what comes to the table.
but yeah, definitely. I think that ordinance.
Okay. Thank you.
And not related, Paul, PREA, is Prison Rate Elimination Act. Prison Rate Elimination Act.
All righty. Any more public comment? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any opposed?